Buongiorno, mi chiamo Charlotte e oggi in questo video vediamo la piramide dei bisogni di Maslow, e questo è una continuazione del video precedente sulla motivazione. Ok, andiamo. Hello everyone, my name's Charlotte, and in this Italian club video we will be looking at a continuation of the theme of motivation. And in fact, the text that we're looking at, that you receive in your handout, is an adaptation from the same website, Crescita Personale, that we saw last month. So the link is here in the document for any club members. I think I might have put the original link, or the link to the original source text, which I've then adapted in the description under my previous video. So we have here the hierarchy of needs, la piramide, I have to think about that, piramide dei bisogni, which is split into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 scalini, so 5 little kind of rungs or sections, little steps. So I'll read you the start of the text that I will be looking at today. So, Motivazione, la piramide dei bisogni di Maslow. Secondo Maslow è possibile disporre i bisogni lungo una piramide, secondo un ordine dal basso verso l'alto, progressivo, basato sulle necessità di sopravvivenza dell'individuo. So, depending on time and whether my baby wakes up or not, we will be looking at this text here. I've written on this board some of the main titles for each of these little rungs della piramide, and there's also lots of little nouns listed within these sort of overarching sections. We may or may not have a chance to look at that, but you can find la piramide dei bisogni di Maslow online, and you can see these for yourself. In fact, that image is from caricavincente.it. So, secondo Maslow, according to Maslow, è possibile, it is possible, disporre, so that's to organize or set out, to lay out if you like, bisogni, needs, very useful word there, un bisogno. I think what I'll do is instead of writing all of the text that I'm going to be sending to my students, I'll put the original link in for anyone who isn't a club member who wants to follow this up themselves. That link, I'll put it in the video description, and club members will be able to read along what I'm reading, and I'll just put some of the key needs. I bisogni, un bisogno, that is a need, so it's a masculine noun. Noun, masculine. So there are these 5 types of need, secondo Maslow, according to Maslow. He says it's possible to lay out these needs in a pyramid. Secondo un ordine, and there's that word secondo again, according to. So we've got 2 mentions of that in the first paragraph. Secondo Maslow, according to Maslow, è possibile, it's possible, disporre i bisogni, to lay out needs, lungo una piramide, via or down or in, basically a pyramid form, secondo un ordine progressivo, according to, secondo un ordine, that's an order, progressive order, progressivo. So in this text there's loads of adjectives that describe things, progressive, physiological, urgent, external, human, loved, recognized, satisfied, lots of different ways of describing things or people. So in this text for the club members, you'll see that all the adjectives within the text that we're looking at, they're in red. Normally I do that for verbs, but these are descriptive words, and descriptive words in Italian agree in gender and number with whatever their subject, with whatever they're describing. So they might have an I at the end, or an E, or an O, or an A, and they may be in the singular or plural, or the masculine or the feminine. Okay? So that's the point of putting these in red. So this progressive order goes dal basso, il basso, the bottom part, the lower part, il basso, the low part. If you think of a bass, or you think of a singer who sings like a, not a tenor. Basso is low, alto, high. So some music terms there to do with, not pitch, to do with how high or low someone's voice is. So, but when it's il basso, dal basso, dal means da plus il. Da is from and il is the. From the low part, the bottom of it, il basso qua, verso, that means towards. So that's preposition. Da and verso, from and towards. From the bottom, dal basso, towards the top, or the high part, verso l'alto. So here we have the most basic needs, and then up here we have the needs which are not as basic as those. These are the essential ones secondo Maslow. So, questo qui, fisiologia, right? So physiology, to do with your body, il corpo. Oh scusa, non ho finito il primo paragrafo. Dal basso verso l'alto. So questi scalini, these little steps, if you like, of people's needs, sono basati sulle necessità, they're based upon the needs, the necessities, di sopravvivenza, of survival needs, dell'individuo. I'm going to put that word sopravvivenza. I think that's important. La, sopra, incidentally, sopra means kind of like above. Sopra di. Sopra vi, W? Sì. Vivenza. Survival. Sopravvivenza. That's a bit of a key word, I think. Dell'individuo, of the individual. So, I primi, so the first primi due scalini, oh scusa, qui, fisiologia e sicurezza, fanno riferimento ai bisogni più impellenti. So, the bottom two refer to the most urgent needs of the individual. Bisogni fisiologici. I'm going to write this bit down. So the bottom two, let's say the first two. Bisogni, I bisogni, so needs. Let's go in there a little bit. That's a little bit far away. Andiamo qui. Fisiologici. So when you've got that fi sound in Italian, fisiologici, physiologico, physiologica, whatever, that adjective physiologico will have a changing ending depending on the gender and the number of the subject that you're describing, or the subjects. Where you have a PH, a made with a PH in English, like physiological. In Italian, that's starting with an F, okay, like this. Physiology. So it's got an I at the end because physiological agrees with I bisogni. That's plural there. Bisogni is masculine, it's plural. So the ending, instead of physiologico, which is a masculine singular, has got an I at the end. Because it's got a C and an O in the singular, that C and the I becomes chi at the end, okay? It doesn't retain that hard k sound from physiologico. It becomes chi. So that's also something that happens when adjectives change, the endings of adjectives change. Sometimes the pronunciation, you might lose that final kind of consonant sound. Anyway, bisogni fisiologici. In questa categoria, it says in this category, rientrano le necessità primarie. So in this category you'll find primary needs of the individual, legate alla fame, things like linked to la fame, hunger. Think of famine. Never thought about that before. Famine is when everyone's hungry, there's no food. So la fame is hunger. These are really essential needs here, okay? And they would be placed at the bottom of the pyramid, the most urgent needs of the individual. Linked to la fame è alla sete, la sete. It does look like the number, or it sounds like the number 7, but it's thirst. So 2 nouns there, which would fall into the physiological category. There's also, what else is there? Oh yes, so this could be termed l'alimentazione. L'alimentazione is like food, nutrition. Other things that are listed here: respiro, so breathing; sesso, sex; sonno, sleep; and homeostasis. Now, I wasn't sure what homeostasis was, so it must be something to do with like regulation of like bodily needs, but forgive my ignorance, I have to check that one. So homeostasis, I was supposed to look that one up. Self-regulating process by which a biological system maintains stability while adjusting to conditions that are optimum to survival. Okay, so self-regulation, urgent self-regulation. Okay, reacting to the environment, so that makes sense. Now, bisogni di sicurezza, safety needs. Bisogni. So if nothing else from this video, you should take away that word, bisogni. Oh, we're on autofocus, let's take that off. Okay, bisogni di sicurezza. Safety. Let's see, so here it says, una volta soddisfatto, once you have satisfied il bisogno di cibo, cibo is food, il cibo, once you've satisfied that need, l'essere umano, the human being, l'essere umano, umano is describing l'essere, so that's actually an adjective describing the being, human being. Una volta soddisfatto il bisogno di cibo, l'essere umano sente, the human being feels, il bisogno, the need, di, the need to, essere parte di un gruppo, to be part of a group, essere parte di un gruppo, parte di un going to write that there because it's quite obvious. Per, so per proteggersi, in order to. So there we have the preposition per, which means for the purpose of, okay? Per proteggersi. Now, that verb proteggersi, I have conjugated it in the present tense on this handout, okay? And I've also, because it's proteggersi, that means to protect oneself. So that's a safety need of a human being, to protect oneself. Proteggersi, the si at the end, that little pronoun is a reflexive pronoun. So if you're saying I am protecting myself, in Italiano si dice mi proteggo. Okay, mi proteggo, I'm protecting myself. The reflexive pronoun mi refers to myself, and that precedes the conjugated verb proteggere. So you conjugate proteggere and you precede it with the reflexive pronoun. Mi proteggo. I've got the, you've got to pay attention because you've got this double G, 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 hard G, sorry, sound. Mi proteggo. But in the to form, ti proteggi, because the, how can I show you this? Mi proteggo. G and an O makes a G sound, it's hard. If it was a G and an A, it would be ga. But because it's a G and an I, in the to form, ti proteggi, the G and an I in Italian makes a soft sound, G, okay, instead of gi. If you wanted it to be a hard G sound and have the I sound after it, gi, it would have to be G-H-I. Ma non lo è, but it isn't. So we have mi proteggo, ti proteggi, si protegge, another soft sound. Ci proteggiamo, we protect each other, we protect ourselves, not each other, but it could be each other if it was reciprocal. Vi proteggete, you guys protect yourselves. Si proteggono. So in the io form we've got proteggo, and then in the loro form we have this g sound again. Si proteggono. So the sound, the kind of main consonant sound at the end, towards the end of that conjugated verb, changes, and that happens sometimes with verbs, especially when they have C's and G's in there, because if you add a vowel after a C or a G, it becomes a soft sound. Anyway, that's digressing, but if you want to look into that verb, you can find it on the sheet. It's reflexive, but you can also use it in a non-reflexive way, just to protect something. Mia casa, proteggo mia casa, per esempio. Anyway, going away from the main part there. Bisogni fisiologici, bisogni di sicurezza. Now what's the third one? Bisogni di affetto, so affection, needs of affection, or sì, appartenenza. So appartenenza, let me see if I've got it on this page. Ecco qua. So we've seen some physiological needs: sete, fame, sonno, respiro, sesso, omeostasi. Sì. E poi sicurezza, essere parte di un gruppo, proteggersi di che cosa? Dei pericoli esterni, okay, from external dangers. The next part, after you've got those needs met, there's this appartenenza, so that's belonging. It's a little bit like belonging to a group, but not for the sake of protecting yourself. Bisogni di affetto, so needs of affection or love, right? Da parte di altri esseri umani importanti. So this bisogni di affetto, the third need, I'll write that word, I'll put it here, on the next page. bisogni, needs of affetto, bisogni di affetto, what is that in English? Or appartenenza, we call it affection or belonging. Appartenenza, belonging. On the part of other significant human beings. So in this appartenenza section we have amicizia, that means friendship, affetto familiare, familiar, affection or family, like from people in your close, maybe in your family, intimità sessuale, so sexual intimacy. They all come from this belonging and affection kind of rung. Then we get to bisogni di stima. So this fourth section of needs. Bisogni di stima. Now this stima, that can mean respect, esteem. Autostima is like self-respect or self-esteem even. So in this we've got, remember these bullet points are taken from this text. So I'm reading from a text that someone else has written here, talking about this Piramide dei Bisogni di Maslow. I think talking about this pyramid of needs from Maslow. Una volta amati, once they feel loved. Una volta means once. C'era una volta means once upon a time. Una volta. It can also mean sort of after, if you like. Once, or it can mean when. But only after or only when someone feels loved. Una volta amati. È importante, it is important, essere riconosciuti, recognized, to be recognized, dagli altri, by others, per le proprie capacità. Ooh, this is important, this one. Once you feel loved, it is important per l'individuo, the individual, the human, un essere umano, a human being, to be recognized by others for their own skills, competences, or capabilities, what they are capable of doing, what they are good at. Okay, so le proprie, that's an adjective actually, their own skills, competences, capabilities. There's a few different ways of translating that. Capabilities. Le capacità. So that's a strange plural. It's in the plural le, but it ends with this a with the accent, grave accent, the one that goes like this, from the top left to bottom right. And that makes the pronunciation of that a like a capacità, libertà. Okay, it's like a clipped short vowel sound. It's in the plural already, and in the singular it's also la capacità. So the word capacità is the same in the singular or the plural, but it's feminine, and so we retain the regular feminine plural article. Okay, le proprie, one's own capacity. So it's important to be recognized for what you're good at. So that goes up towards the top, and in this section we have things such as autostima. mention that, didn't I? Self-respect. Autocontrollo. It sounds like I'm saying out of control. Auto means self, okay? Controllo, control, so self-control. What's up with there? Realizzazione, realization. Ooh. Rispetto reciproco. Oh, that's a useful one, isn't it? Reciprocal, respect. Anything else written there? It's quite small at this point, right? So the need for recognition, but also self-respect goes into that little need for respect of oneself. So we're climbing higher up this pyramid of needs. Then we get to the top bit, which is, I think, the most important. A place to which we should all aim as individuals. Okay, so bisogni di AutoRealizzazione. Right. Needs of self-realization. Ding! This is where wisdom comes in, or learning from development. Okay? Bisogni di auto. There's that auto, a bit like un auto, like a car. Realizzazione, two Z's in the middle, and then azione at the end. So when you see words with azione at the end, like realizzazione, they tend to be feminine. Okay, so here it says bisogni di autorealizzazione è il bisogno più alto. So this is the highest need. Okay, alto again it means high. So that's an adjective describing the need. Essere soddisfatti, to be satisfied. There's another adjective. Di chi si è, by who you are, e di cosa si faccia, and by what one does. That's a little faccia, comes from fare, it's a subjunctive. So, bisogni di autorealizzazione, questa parte della piramide è la parte più alta. So that's the highest part and the highest need. To be satisfied by who you are and what you do. So let's go back to la mia, quello che ho provato di fare, la mia piramide, okay? Il mio disegno. Qui dove c'è scritto AutoRealizzazione, where it's written SelfRealisation, these are some of the things that are contained within the parts of being, of your needs, which are at the very top. Okay? Qui c'è scritto molto piccolo. Moralità, morality. Creatività, creativity. Spontaneità, being spontaneous. Problem solving è scritto in inglese. Accettazione, accepting things, acceptance, varies a little bit in English to the Italian. Assenza di pregiudizi. Assenza di, so the absence of prejudice or preconceptions. Yes, all things to which we should aspire, and definitely areas of your needs that reflect self-growth and the la voglia di, the need, the want, the will to develop yourself. Okay, that's why this is linked to motivation, because we're motivated by our needs. So I would suggest going to visit this original link. Again, it's the one that we looked at, a continuation from the same website, and actually I think the same link from what we looked at last time on La Motivazione, but this bit focuses on that Piramide dei Bisogni di Maslow. So Maslow's pyramid of needs. And I think to some people this will be quite obvious stuff, but in the middle of last century, dopo la seconda guerra mondiale, after the Second World War, this psychologist Maslow, Abraham Maslow I think, had put this theory together. So let's have a little look at some of the words. We saw a lot of words there, lots of nouns and lots of adjectives. So I'm going to ask you if you can tell me how you would say a human being. Un essere umano. Essere is actually the noun there, un essere, but it's also the verb to be. Okay? Un essere umano. What about hunger? Think of the word famine. La fame, sì. Thirst, la sete. Sete. Okay. What about the word a need? A need. Un bisogno. And you may remember from a few videos ago, maybe last video, the verb which is linked to that noun, un bisogno, the verb bisognare. That means to need something or to be necessary. Bisogno tempo. We need some time. Time is necessary. Anyway, so there's lots of useful stuff in there, and you can also find out a little bit more by searching for La Piramide dei Bisogni di Maslow, or if you're one of my club members, you can click on this link down here which takes you to further reading in Italiano on this topic. So thank you very much for that. I hope you've learned something. I hope that's given you some inspiration. I hope that might clarify a little bit maybe what's going on in your life, and grazie mille e alla prossima volta. Ciao.